Hi, welcome to Pages with Sidra here. I bring you the novels behind your favorite manga, manhwa, and manhua, whether by translating or simply reading them for you. Let's dive into the stories that inspire the comics we all love. I got a cheat ability in a different world and become extraordinary even in the real world. Vol 12 Chapter 3, School Idol Project. Part 1. After the Exorcism by Kagurazaka-san. I was being trained by Kuya-san to practice spiritual power. Good, keep it up. If you are in a hurry, it will end up with an outburst of spiritual power. So, it is important to continue your training slowly. The goal of my current training was to be able to freely release my spiritual power at will and to be able to circulate my spiritual power freely within my body. As a way to achieve this, I first needed to face my own spiritual power, so I focused on my own body while sitting in meditation. This method was similar to the first time I sensed magic power, but at that time, I was unaware of the spiritual power that was lurking in my body. It was only after I completed the trial in the heavenly realm that I became able to sense the spiritual power in my body. I don't remember what kind of trial it was, but it was a test to cease being human, and I guess it was that act that led me to face my own existence, and this was how I came to manifest my spiritual power. As I was thinking about this and manipulating the spiritual power inside my body, Kuya-san gave me the signal to end the session. Alright, let's call it a day. Huma. As expected of my descendant, you have quickly mastered the art of using spiritual powers. As Kuya-san said, it had not been that long since I began training, but I was able to freely release and move spiritual power within my body without any particular difficulty. The only thing I had to be careful about was that I don't spread my spiritual power around too vigorously, but since Kuya-san was watching over my training, I don't have to worry about that at the moment. In other words, I could say that my training was going quite well. I continued with my training regarding spiritual power, but there were still many things I didn't know about it. Kuya-san, I am training in this way, but what can I actually do with spiritual power and sorcery? Well, right, it seems that there is a technique called magic in the other world. It can definitely do something similar to it. If magic consumes magic power to cause phenomena, then similarly, sorcery is a technique that consumes spiritual power to cause phenomena. Does that mean you can create flames? Yes. The only clear difference between magic and sorcery is that sorcery is more offensive. Offensive? I tilted my head, and Kuya-san continued. As I mentioned before, spiritual power is the result of the stain of death becoming a power. Therefore, its power is also close to death. In other words, the sorcery that is released by consuming this power also has a high ability to kill. For example, if you compare a flame created by magic and a flame created by sorcery, the flame created by sorcery is much hotter, and above all, it does not disappear. It doesn't disappear? Yes. Just as you cannot attack a demon without spiritual power, a phenomenon created with spiritual power can basically only be cancelled by another phenomenon that is also filled with spiritual power. You must remember that. Indeed, the difference would be quite large since a flame created by magic can be extinguished even by water that is not separately imbued with magical power. I see. In addition to this, the training you are currently undergoing to manipulate the spiritual power within your body, if you are able to do this, you will naturally be able to continue strengthening your body. In other words, it would be a sorcery version of the physical ability through magic. Due to having the demon's constitution, you and I have never been able to develop proper muscles, but if you can handle your spiritual power, you will always be able to exert a force that cannot be compared to muscular strength. Unlike sorcery, which releases spiritual power out of the body, this one does not consume spiritual power. If it weren't for this power, I wouldn't have been able to fight against those demons. Thus, I spent peaceful days with Kuya-san training me to control my spiritual power. To be honest, I'm curious about the demons that appeared in this world and the reason why they appeared in this world. But I couldn't exterminate the demons on my own. I think Kuya-san was concerned about this, too. You shouldn't worry too much about it. Right now, you should only think about helping the people around you. This was what he said. I was not sure that the underworld would leave the situation as it is where demons were unleashed in this world. That's why I'm learning how to use my powers so that I can protect those close to me from the damage of demons. Come to think of it, Kuya-sen said earlier that I learned to handle spiritual power very quickly, but I wonder if there's a reason for that. At least, I didn't feel a shred of spiritual power until I went to the heavenly realm. It should be an unknown power, but for some reason, spiritual power seemed strangely familiar to my body. When I asked Kuya-san about it, he said, "Of course it is. You have never been able to recognize it, and you have never had to use it, but it has always been there with you. Once you are aware of its existence, you will be able to use it just like breathing, without having to be particularly conscious of it. So it seems. As a result, I am now able to release my spiritual power out of my body and use it with my weapons to some extent, so I should be able to deal with demons when they appear. I was spending a reasonably fulfilling day in this way, and after finishing school today, I was about to go home. Is Yuya Tenju-kun here?" Eh? Suddenly, the classroom door opened vigorously, and there stood a male student. The boy had a somewhat confident expression on his face and wore such an atmosphere that attracted attention unintentionally. However, when I was surprised by the sudden appearance of a complete stranger, Sawada-sensei, who was still in the classroom, held her temples. "Hey, Kitaraku, what are you doing here? And don't open the door so aggressively, it's dangerous." Sawada-sensei, who would normally be on the side of the students, looked tired in front of the student who suddenly appeared. "I mean, that guy called me, right? No, did I mishear it?" While I was puzzled by the feeling of being called by a strange male student, that student laughed at Sawada-sensei's words. "Ha ha ha ha. That was rude of me. I just got carried away. As I said before, the reason I came here was because I wanted to talk to Yuya Tenju-kun." "To Tenju?" I knew it wasn't a mistake to have my name called, and Sawada-sensei turned his gaze toward me with a dubious expression on her face. The boy followed her gaze, and when he finally spotted me, his eyes lit up. "Oh, there you are. You must be Yuya Tenju-kun." "Why, yes." The student took my hand as soon as he came in front of me. "I'm always grateful for what you do for us. I always look forward to seeing what you do." Who are you?" I asked, and the boy's eyes widened for a moment. Oh, I see. You are a transfer student, aren't you? I'm Su Kitaraku. I'm the student council president of this Aosei Academy." I didn't expect him to be the student council president and was surprised to hear him say that. Well, come to think of it, I haven't seen the student council president since I came to this school. I had seen the other student council members, including Kaori, greeting each other at athletic and school festivals and other events, but I had never seen the student council president. I hadn't been particularly concerned about that until now. Well, I've done so many things that I've been on the teacher's radar. They won't let me stand in front of everyone anymore. What did you do to deserve that? No wonder I'd never seen or heard the student council president address the class. I was surprised at the situation, which was unbecoming of a student council president, but the person in question did not seem bothered by it and laughed boldly. Seeing the student council president like that, Sawada-sensei let out a tired sigh. "It's not a laughing matter, it's true that all the events you've been involved in have been successful, but you certainly can't take it lightly with the effort that went into them. That's why the other teachers are stopping you. If you would just think a little more about what you're doing, you'd be able to act as a normal student council president, you know. I won't be such a boring student council president. Do as you please." Apparently, this student council president is quite a unique person. "So, Kitaraku, I have a very bad feeling about this. What's your business with Tenju?" "Oh, that's right." The student council president Kitaraku, who remembered his purpose thanks to Sawada-sensei's words, said to me with his chest puffed out. "Yuya Tenju-kun, I would like you to raise the school idols of our school." "Yes." I couldn't help but ask back at the unexpected words of the student council president. The other classmates who were listening around the room were also darting their eyes at the student council president's words. However, only one person, the student council president alone, was convinced and took my hand. "Oh, you'll take care of it. Then let's start talking about the details." Wait a minute. I didn't say I'd take on the job." Didn't you just say yes?" I was asking back. It should not have looked like I agreed to it by any stretch of the imagination, but apparently, the student council president didn't think so. That's strange. Is it possible for there to be such a difference in perception? Then the student council president let go of my hand and tilted his head. That I was mistaken. But what do you want to ask back? No, I want to hear it all back from the beginning. As well as the school idol, and I'm the one who will raise it, and I don't understand the situation from what it's all about. Sawada-sensei, who had been quietly watching what was going on, let out a sigh. Hey, Kitaraku, are you trying to start something weird again? What do you mean by strange? I'm just proposing a means to spread the word about how wonderful this academy is. This direction is too crazy. Everyone in the class, not just me, nodded in agreement with Sawada-sensei's words. Then Luna, who was getting ready to leave as well, asked in a whisper. I don't know what it is, but what is this school idol thing that guy was talking about? To be honest, I don't know how to explain it. I am not very familiar with those things as well. Shingo-kun, perhaps sensing my concern, appeared out of nowhere. Luluna-san. Oh, where did you come from? That's not the point. School idol is... Shingo-kun's explanation, which was even more enthusiastic than usual, helped not only Luna but also me to understand the school idol thing somewhat. I see. So, there is such a culture in this world, and when it comes to a position of gaining popularity among the people, it may be similar to that of a saint or a hero, like Mai. Luna was a little overwhelmed but seemed to understand the concept of idols by matching it with her own knowledge. Ah, Kitaraku-senpai. I've been looking for you. Kaori. And now, moving on to part 2 of this chapter. The story is just getting more exciting, so let's keep going. While everyone in the surroundings was buzzing at the student council president's surprising statement, another 2 people came to this class. One is Kaori, and the other is a female student whom I have seen greeting at an event. So, this person must also be a student council member. Then, the girl and Kaori came straight to the student council president. Senpai, I thought I couldn't find you, but what are you doing without telling us? No, I think momentum is important in everything.
My channel.
Please put yourself in the shoes of those who have to deal with it. The student council president didn't seem to respond at all but simply laughed cheerfully. What amazing mental fortitude. The student council president then stopped the female student with his hand. Well, calm down. I'm just trying to persuade Tenju-kun. Even if you put it that way, Yuya-san, you're having trouble because he's talking too much all of a sudden, aren't you? I guess so. Thanks to Kaori's words, I managed to nod my head, albeit a little hesitantly. I don't even know what made you decide to start that school idol project, but what I'm most curious about is why you consulted me about it. That reminds me, I didn't tell you about that, did I? Senpai, you should explain it to him if you want to get him involved. That's fine, I'm going to tell you now. Well, regarding the school idol project, the purpose is to promote this academy. The other day, the school festival showdown with Nide Academy made me think of something. It seems that the school had a lot to think about after witnessing the publicity power of Nide Academy during the school festival showdown. This is because Aosei Academy only conducted its publicity as it had in previous years, while Nide Academy, on the contrary, advertised through all kinds of media, including TV and the internet. I think the current Aosei Academy is attractive enough, but I think we can create a different atmosphere by introducing a new approach here and there. As part of that, I decided to start the school idol project. And that's why I chose you to be in charge of the project, because frankly speaking, you make a good impression on the teachers. You're so frank. I was surprised to hear him say that so openly. But I don't think I have a good reputation among the teachers. That's not true, you know. Hey, Sawada-sensei. I didn't want to say it in front of Kitaraku, but it's right. It's because you are active in all the ball games, the athletic festival, and the school festival, and on top of that, you don't go out of control like this, Kitaraku. In that sense, the teachers think very highly of you. So that's how it is. As you can hear, I've gone a little overboard, and the teachers are watching me closely. I thought it would be a good idea to appoint you, who has a good reputation among the teachers, to be in charge of this project. You're really frank, aren't you? As was the case earlier, the student council president seems to say what he thinks too much. But I guess that's also his charm. Now, I've explained all this to you. Tenju-kun, would you be willing to take on this project? I was about to decline the offer since I still didn't know what exactly I was going to do, and more importantly, I didn't know if I could be of any use to them. Hey, Luna, you have the nerve to keep me waiting. Bored. I couldn't wait any longer. I forgot about Lexia and Yudi. Lexia-san and Yudi couldn't wait any longer and even came to this class in the high school. Although Lexia-san came to this world as an exchange student, she is still royalty, and no matter how safe the environment in Japan is, there is no guarantee that something dangerous will not happen to her. That said, there have been incidents related to demons recently. So, although we were in different grades, we would meet up and go home together every time. Since we were going home from the same place, and more importantly, we were not involved in any club activities, it was easy for us to meet up. Lexia-san and Yuri were already at the meeting place as usual, but when we didn't show up no matter how long they waited, they came to pick us up. Then, seeing Lexia-san and Yuri, the student council president's eyes lit up. You. Me. Yes, it's you. That overflowing aura, why don't you become a school idol of our school? Senpai. The student council president, as soon as he saw Lexia-san, started scouting for her to become a school idol. The female student council members rushed to stop him, but the student council president wouldn't stop. You have talent as a school idol. I really want you to show off that talent. It's too sudden, I don't know what's happening. The student council president began his presentation as if he had been waiting for Lexia-san, who was puzzled. At first, Lexia-san seemed to be in doubt, but her expression changed as she gradually listened to what he had to say. Then, I don't really understand it yet, but it sounds interesting. And besides, Yuya-sama is going to take care of me, right? I'll definitely do it. I'm not really. Won't Yuya-sama help me with this? Ugh. Lexia-san looked at me with a sad expression on her face. When I couldn't speak at the sight of her, Lexia-san continued. I wanted to experience a lot of things in this school, I see. I can't cause any trouble for Yuya-sama, don't worry, I just have to put up with it. So don't worry about it, Yuya-sama. I understand. I'll help you. Yay. As soon as I unintentionally agreed, Lexia-san's sad expression changed and she smiled happily. I was a little confused, but the fact was that Lexia-san would like to experience many things in this world, and it's not good to make her sit on the sideline. Then it's just a matter of me doing my best. I don't even know what I'm going to do, so I don't even know if I can do it. Then Lexia-san looked at Luna. Of course, you're going to do it too, aren't you, Luna? Me too? I'm sure, you have an aura as good as hers or hired too. I haven't said I'll do it yet. When Luna mentioned this, Lexia-san smiled somewhat meaningfully. Ara, really? If Luna doesn't want to do it, I won't force you to do it, you know. But in return, I'll ask Yuya-sama to take care of me. Wah! Exclamation. Luna's eyes widened at Lexia-san's words, but at the same time, she felt a reaction from some of the people around her who were watching what was happening. Luna didn't want to do it, sorry. MMIC, it's unfortunate, but it can't be helped. Then. Do it. I'll do it too. Luna. I was surprised because I didn't expect Luna to join too, and she muttered something with a determined look on her face. I can't fall behind Lexia here. Fufu, that's my Luna. So, what about you, Yudi? When it was decided that Luna was going to participate, Lexia-san smiled happily and approached Yudi, who had seemed unconcerned until now. Question. What good will it do to be an idol? You will be taken care of by Yuya-sama. Exclamation. No, I don't think that's a good thing. Agreed. Then I'll do it. You'll do it? I mean, as for Yudi, I feel like I'm always taking care of her. I was surprised that even Yudi would be willing to participate. I thought Yudi wasn't interested in this kind of thing. Ho 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 ho. Well, it was a bit haphazard, but we've already got 3 participants. Ha ha ha. What's really going on here? At the student council president's words, the female student council member let out a tired sigh. Despite her, the student council president looked around the class. For now, I think 3 is fine, but it's worth the effort. Is anyone in this class interested in becoming a school idol? We will probably put out a call for applications to the entire school later, but we'd appreciate it if you could come forward here. The whole class was abuzz at the student council president's call for applications. How about you? It sounds kind of fun, but I'm not sure I'd feel comfortable lining up with those 3. What about the boys? I'm curious, but then there's Yuya, the absolute idol. As I expected, it was too sudden, and although everyone discussed it, no one in particular seemed to come forward. The student council president, who took notice of the situation, nodded his head once. Well, it was very sudden, after all. For the time being, it's just these 3. You It was the moment when the student council president was about to close the recruitment process. To my surprise, Keed raised her hand, looking a little embarrassed. That school idol thing? Can I participate, too? Then, following Keed's lead, Merle raised her hand as well. I have little basis for judgment and was going to wait and see what would happen. This would be a great experience, and I would like to be a part of it. Oh, 2 more participants. That's great. I hope you will contribute to our school as a school idol. Since there were no additional applicants other than Keed and Merle, it was decided that Lexia-san, Luna, Yuri, Keed, and Merle would become the school idols. From the student council president suddenly coming to me to this point, I was surprised that the story had already taken shape so far, despite the fact that I was told about it out of the blue. Sawada-sensei, who had remained silent up until now, let out a sigh. I didn't stop you because I thought it would be a futile attempt, but it's still going as smoothly as ever. How can this guy's ideas go so smoothly? Don't just say it's useless to try. I was hoping you'd stop him. Nakoda, that's impossible. This guy won't stop at anything. Or rather, he never listens to people in the first place. How can he be the student council president if he's like that? I guess it's another one of those qualities that make him a leader. The female student council members who came with Kaori also let out a tired sigh along with Sawada-sensei. What can I say? Good luck. Nevertheless, I've also been determined to be in charge of the school idol project without knowing the reason why. What am I going to do now? While I had such anxieties, Kaori approached me. Yuya-san. I'm sorry. You got caught up in our circumstances. And no, that's fine, but it looks like Kaori is having a hard time too. Well, but it's more fun than just trouble. Kaori was smiling bitterly, but she probably meant what she said. The fact is, the conversation was carried out quite forcefully, but I guess this student council president Kitaraku has the ability to make everyone around him smile. But I wonder if I'm up to the task. I don't even know what I'm going to do yet. Don't worry. I'm sure Yuya-san will do well. Really? Yes. If only I didn't have to work for the student council, I would be joining Lexia-san and the others. It's nothing. As we had this exchange, the student council president was thinking about something with a serious expression on his face. Since we have gathered so many attractive people, we have to put more effort into other parts of the school so as not to waste the charm of these girls. First of all, the music is right. Let's ask that popular artist Kanade Yutamori-san. We've already made a connection at the school festival. We also have to think about costumes and hahaha, you have a lot to think about, Nakoda-kun. And please put yourself in the shoes of those of us who get caught up in it every time. Isn't that great? It's more fun than that. Alright, let's get moving right now. So, Tenji-kun, we'll talk more about it soon. See you later. The student council president said all he had to say and left. What can I say? He really came and went like a storm. I had never met the student council president before, but I just kept being overwhelmed by him. Thank you for watching Pages with Sidra. I hope you enjoyed this chapter of I got a cheat ability in a different world, and became extraordinary even in the real world. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more volumes and novels. Let's keep exploring these amazing stories together. See you in the next one.